Recording.
Recording?
Recording,
Canadian flag, let's see. Yeah, hold that up. Good morning, everyone. My name is Taylor Henderson. I'm what you could call an internet activist, an aspiring writer, and a man desperate for change. I'm here with you because there is something terribly wrong with the world today, and I feel it is time to share some perspective. I feel we don't do that enough anymore, or at least the people I know. If you keep up with current events at all, which I sincerely hope you do if you're here today, you are aware of the nuclear disaster at Fukushima, a disaster that we do not know how to fix and is on the road to affect our entire planet. I'm sure you've also heard of the recent boom in fracking, a crude, almost barbaric way of ravaging our planet's resources with no regard for the environment. You may have also heard of the recent attacks on the First Nations, which, although only recently popularized again, have been going on for decades, or centuries if you're well read. Of course, there is also Prime Minister Harper and his foul regime, which have torn this once great country asunder and sullied the name of Canada. I could go on for hours about the mountains which we must climb, but time is of the essence. There's too much wrong with the world today, and too few trying to make things right. We know that our world is ruled by an egomaniacal, idiopathic, aristocratic elite who mold society's wants and needs to what they see fit. We see in Ukraine, Venezuela, Spain, Greece, and a myriad of other countries that our brothers and sisters are rising up against the status quo to various degrees of success. It is time that we shed our complacency and don a cloak of reason. It's time we opened our eyes and shined a light in the eyes of others. The only way we are going to change anything is through a revolution of thought, and the only means to achieve this are through educated, dedicated minds who hold truth above all else. How many people do we know who wholeheartedly believe the drivel that our media feeds them? How many people do we know that are completely oblivious to what's going on down south and abroad? This is what needs to change. I implore each and every one of you to engage your co-workers, your friends, your loved ones in this struggle that affects each and every one of us. It's our only hope. I'd like to keep this short, so I shall leave you with a quote from Albert Camus, a man I hold in high regard. The only way to deal with an unfree world is to become so absolutely free that your very existence is an act of rebellion. Thank you.
yeah.
Guys, come back. I got one too. I would have been out of focus. I can't even see if I was in focus. Yeah, I got to speak too, guys. Come back.
Hey, you're still recording it, right?
Someone hold this for me.
I'm happy. I'm shaking because I don't do public speaking.
Awesome, brother.
Thank you.
That means
Yep.
Well, you can hold my. Let me stand up. You tell me when you want to start, guys.
All right. We'll start right now. Greetings. We are Anonymous, Citizens Watch of the World, coming to you live in the streets, being the change we all want to see. We won't back down from anything that's against humanity's preservation, and if you silence us, double will follow in our footsteps tomorrow. In this world, the lies are very common. Doctors cure health, psychiatrists save minds, scientists discover truth, religions teach spirituality, major media controls information, taxes improve society, politicians keep promises, governments secure freedom, wars stop evil, history never lies, laws bring justice, police serve and protect, socialism is the well-being of others. Sexism, racism, speciesism, classism is the lack of a normal society. Schools mold intelligent free thinkers. Jobs create security and careers fulfill dreams. Industries put health above money. The richest economies are environmentally sustainable. Materialism brings happiness. GMOs save lives. GEO engineering stops global warming. Yeah, right. If up is down and down is up, I think it's time you start looking around instead. Realize, real lives. I could fit all the solutions in one speech, but would you listen? Can change be much simpler? Well, I think it can. And it's by learning to depend on yourself and not affect the others in the process. Realize then, if you lose all your material possessions, you are still always looked after. The weeds we all throw away are some of the best food and medicine on earth. Once you realize you're always taken care of by our creation force and Mother Earth, you don't need a second parent like the government. I can tell you lasting change starts within an individual and the collective group blossoms secondary. then we become the positive energy the world wants to see enforced. Like right now, what you see before you. Let's get back to do-it-yourselfing and homeschooling. Make our own energy with solar panels. They're cheaper than ever. Cure ourselves with cannabinoids and nutrition. Take public broadcasting back from private corporations and make the street our stage. Learn to live for free off the grid, like Gary Thibault with his guerrilla farming in Etobicoke. Flow with nature, not flow against it. Let's guide our youth positively, not ignore them or give them video games. All these things start with an individual first, and in a way only you know. One day we will realize the government is a reflection of ourselves. And the reason we poison our water, food, and air is because we don't care about each other. It's so corrupt because we can't even treat our animals with compassion, let alone ourselves. Am I supposed to believe the lies of the meat industry? That you need to eat meat to be healthy? Or that every part of an animal works exactly the same as the humans except for their brains so they don't have thoughts and emotions? The more and more you look into their truths, the more and more you will see our lies. Turning that thinking around backwards, the less and less you will see any type of governance. Trust that. When we realize the government is just our mother giving us an allowance and holding our hand because we don't want to stand up for ourselves, we can have a foundation to grow from. After all, we are the government. Know thyself.
Yay.
All right.
Woo!
You're telling.
That was brilliant, brother.
Good speech.
Close soul.